Good afternoon, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching as always, it is appreciated. Housekeeping over before we get into the meat of the video. We've had 3 Reform UK victories overnight. We've had June Mummery in Suffolk County Council. We've had Jonathan Morgan in Blackpool Council and Heinz Glanville in Cornwall Council. So well done to the new Reform UK councillors. I'm sure they're going to do good work. So now with the video. Labour have hit a new low today. I know that's hard to believe, but that's where we are. They are attacking a Reform UK candidate who told David Lammy to go home to the Caribbean and question other MPs' loyalties to the UK. I have as well. Alright, if you're a dual national or you are of a ethnic descent not of the United Kingdom, we've got every right to question your loyalties, which is exactly what this former military veteran, which they omit from the headline, has been accused of doing. Let's just have a look into the article now. We'll go into a bit more detail now. A Reform UK mayoral candidate who said David Lammy should go home to the Caribbean has suggested that at least 8 other politicians from ethnic minority backgrounds do not have primary loyalty to the UK. Well, I agree with that. Nigel Farage's party has so far refused to condemn Chris Parry. Why should he? A retired Navy veteran, a Rear Admiral who has been picked to contest the now postponed Hampshire and Solent's mayoral election for the party over his comments about Lammy, the Deputy Prime Minister. In a post in February referring to a news story about the UK government supposedly considering talks of reparations about slavery or for slavery, which ministers have in fact rejected, Parry is said to have written, "Lammy must go home to the Caribbean where his loyalty lies." No lies were detected. I agree with the former Rear Admiral. If David Lammy has loyalties to countries that are not of these islands, not Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, or England, then he should go home. Let's continue. The bulk of the comments by Parry, all made on X, involving quote tweeting or retweeting posts from others and other politicians, about other politicians, some originating from far-right or openly anti-Islam accounts. Ooh, shock, horror, clutch the pearls. In May, he highlighted footage showing Anna Sauer, leader of Labour in Scotland, speaking in 2022, in an event in 2022 celebrating the 75th anniversary of Pakistani independence, writing, "So many people in UK Labour do not care that their priors do not have or owe primary loyalty to Britain." Well, I agree. If your loyalty is celebrating independence of Pakistan from Britain, maybe you should go back there. That's not controversial. That should be mainstream thought by this point, which I think it is, which is why this has been relegated to The Guardian. But we'll continue. Next month, commenting about footage showing Labour MP Naz Shah taking her parliamentary oath by swearing on the Quran. He wrote, "That's okay. If she commits blasphemy, she's betraying the British people and demonstrating her primary loyalty is to another country." In the same month, he said hapless Humza Yousaf, the former First Minister of Scotland, his first loyalty was not to any country in the UK. In October, he said similar about Zara Sultana, who now represents your party, tweeted about a journalist's comment that she should be deported. Parry says, "It's because your first loyalty is not to the British people, nothing to do with your religion or background. We do not trust you to defend our interests." Well, I agree with that completely. And finally, we get onto this here. In a post about footage showing Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, and the MP Dawn Butler attending a Jamaica-themed party at Labour conference, hosted by Butler, Parry said, "You really have to wonder where these primary loyalties lie." In a recent post on X, the mayoral candidate commented about a media interview in which Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, discussed her Muslim faith, adding, "Doesn't her religion require her to show loyalty to her fellow Muslims before any country?" Genuine question. I have that question as well. Another post about Colcab Stewart, the Scottish Equalities Minister, in which Parry said, "Clearly her primary loyalty is not to Britain or Scotland." He also questioned Lammy's loyalty to the UK on another occasion. Again, when he was Foreign Secretary, commenting about a news story on policy towards the Navy. This is what happens when you have somebody whose primary loyalty is not the UK as Foreign Secretary. Completely agree with all of that. Finally, let's just see now. At a press conference on Tuesday, Reform's deputy leader says he had seen the post and seemed to indicate that sentiments could be viewed as acceptable parts of the political debate. They are. There's no controversy here other than the controversy and the faux outrage that the Guardian's trying to stir up and the Labour MPs. He said, at the end of the day, David Lammy is a cabinet minister. Whether we think he's doing a good job or bad job is just part of politics. It's all day-to-day life. He will, I'm sure, continue to claim he's doing a great job, and we will challenge him. Anna Turley, the Labour chair, says that Farage needed to throw Chris Parry out of Reform UK 2 weeks ago and drop him as a candidate moving forward. She added, the fact that he shows he's not willing to, the fact that he didn't shows he's willing to turn a blind eye to the racism in his party's senior ranks and falls far below the standards our public expect from political leaders. The fact that Farage has failed to take any action against Chris Parry, despite his racist comments being exposed over 12 days, shows what a weak leader Farage is. He's dragging his father further into the gutter and is unfit to hold high office. I disagree. All of this is valid. All of these opinions are valid. I've questioned these as well. When you have Shabana Mahmood saying that she's the proud daughter of Kashmir and she's not willing to limit immigration from Pakistan into the United Kingdom, despite it being a safe country, despite it expelling Afghans back to Afghanistan, it makes you wonder where her loyalty is. Is it to this United Kingdom or is it to her native homeland? I would question it just like Chris Parry is. And to add insult to these injuries, we've got some videos from the Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar and David Lammy calling for reparations.
Every chief executive of every council, every government department, white. Every director of a department in Scotland, white. Every principal of a college or university in Scotland, white. Every head teacher in Scotland, white. Every chair of a public sector body in Scotland, white. Every High Court judge in Scotland, white. Every prison governor in Scotland, white.
It's because Scotland's a primarily white country. Anna Sarwar, the Labour leader of the Scots, thinks that it's a problem that all of the positions in Scotland are held by white people in a white country. I've said this before, go to Pakistan, would you be able to make this conversation or make this speech in Pakistan to say why are all the brown people in positions of power? I don't think so. I think that would be considered racist. And then the same person, Anna Sarwar, was challenged on the grooming gangs in Scotland, and he thinks it's a far-right narrative, so we're going to play that clip now.
Can you tell us the names of the three people in Glasgow who were murdered by the Muslim asylum seeker? Can you tell us what happened with the rapes of children in Glasgow from fake asylum seekers who were raping kids and it was covered up by the actual... I think you should take your far-right nonsense somewhere else. I would think that somebody that supports as a Muslim who supports a prophet who had sex with a 9-year-old girl and had sex slaves, I think that's more of an issue, is it not?
So that's him dismissing anything that a minority community does in Scotland as a far-right narrative. And then obviously we've got David Lammy saying that he wants reparations because he identifies as a Caribbean man, not as a British man. So when you get military veterans questioning his loyalty to the United Kingdom, I will bear weight, I will give that weight.
As Caribbean people, we are not going to forget our history. We don't just want to hear an apology, we want reparation.
So we'll leave them there. So what do we know about this guy, Chris Parry? What do we know about him apart from that he is a military veteran? Well, let's have a look at Chris Parry on Wikipedia. Parry joined the Royal Navy as a seaman in 1972 and became an observer in the Fleet Air Arm in 1979. He saw service in the fleet carrier HMS Ark Royal as a training officer, during the course of which he appeared on the BBC Fly on the Wall documentary Sailor, showing life on board a ship during a February to July 1976 Western Atlantic deployment. Parry ostensibly features in the episode Officer Territory, which details his training with him holding educational English lessons for members of the ship's company, in addition to taking a role on the bridge evading a Russian spy ship, as well as taking advice on handling of men from the fleet master at arms. Parry again features in the penultimate episode of Sailor, 8 years on, having transferred to the fleet arm. He gives an account of his role on the attack of the Argentine submarine ARA Santa Fe and the retaking of South Georgia. And that's probably during the Falklands Islands, the Falklands War. And then we go on here. Let's have a look now. In 1982, he was mentioned in dispatches for his actions during the Falklands War and his part in rescuing 16 SAA troopers from Fort Near Glacier in South Georgia, and the detection and disabling of an Argentine submarine, Santa Fe. He believes depth charges he launched were the first shots fired in the recapture of the Falklands. So, in short, a military war hero and a decorated veteran. Because he said some things that some of the lefties are up in arms about, Reform UK meant to remove him from the party. Why would they do this? They're not going to do this. You're having a giraffe. You are having a laugh. This is another deliberate and desperate attempt to smear Reform UK. The lefties are having a meltdown because they don't actually realise the Overton window has shifted so far right. They have got whiplash and they do not know their arse from the elbow. Anything is on the table. It can all be discussed. It is not racist when you have the Foreign Secretary, who is now the Deputy Prime Minister, identifying himself as a Caribbean man, not a British man, and you're calling out that BS. That's not racism. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. As always, your mileage may vary. Do that good stuff. Do that good juice. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video later on today. You take it easy, and thank you for watching.